Hey everybody, today I'm going to show you how to build an AI voice agent that can qualify your lead list for you. Let's get into it. Okay, so I've made VAPI voice agent videos in the past, but they were more basic. This is going to be a little bit more of an intermediate video, a little more advanced. And in this video, what I'm essentially going to show you how to do is qualify a lead list by giving each of those leads a call, making sure that that contact is the correct contact, and maybe doing some other slight vetting before we, add them to an outreach campaign or reach out personally ourselves. So we want to vet, we want to qualify a list of leads that we were going to drop in right here into like a Google Sheet. So this could be hundreds, thousands of leads here. We're going to give each of them a call with an AI voice agent, qualify them, and then basically, trigger some sort of qualification key for each lead. You could also add them to a CRM or add them to an email list. In this video, we're basically just going to say, are they qualified? Yes or no. Okay. But the logic will be the same. So anyways, let me stop talking. Let's get right into the build. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do to set up our lead qualifying VAPI voice agent is we're actually going to come into VAPI. If you've never used VAPI, it's my preferred tool to use when creating these voice agents. It's pretty great. And it's just improving every day. And we're actually going to create our lead qualifier agent. Okay. We're going to prompt it. All right, and so I've kind of dropped in a basic prompt here that I'll show you. And we're not going to spend too much time on the actual prompting. I want to really get across the logic here for you. So, you can kind of prompt it how you need. I want to really show you how to get this data into make.com and how to, analyze and qualify these leads. But from a very high level, basically, you're a page, a lead qualification voice assistant representing my company. Your goal is to confirm if the lead is legitimate and invite them to join an AI research panel. Basically, that's how we're going to basically figure out if this lead is who we think it is. We're not selling anything. Keep it friendly. Whatever. Okay. All right. And so then we give it it's script. Okay. So if first name answers, hey, is this first name? If yes, then say, hey, great. This is Paige calling on behalf of version 7. We run an independent research panel. I see you're listed as the job title at company name. Is that right? And these variables are very important. So make note of those here right now because we're going to talk about those in a bit. If they confirm, then perfect. And then we give them some sort of fake, offer here. Would it be okay if I emailed you? If yes, perfect. Is this email still the best email? So we're trying to, verify that their email is legit, et cetera, et cetera. If not, it's totally fine. We validated that it is who we thought it was at the company and the job title and the name. And so we're going to validate them and qualify them anyways. If no, sorry, I might have the wrong contact. I'll update our records. Okay. So if we ask them, hey, is this X at this company with this job title? And they say no, well, then we're going to disqualify them. Okay. And that's really all we're doing. We have some slight prompting here if like a gatekeeper or receptionist answers. Or if like an automated system answers, but really the basis here is, if we are able to confirm that the list or the name we have on this list is accurate with, and they're still at their company with their job title. If we confirm that on our call, then we're going to qualify them as yes, right? Okay. That's the whole idea here. All right. So that is my prompt. Now, a couple other things I want to show you here in the settings of your VAPI voice agent, just so you're aware of them. I normally use the voice of Paige. I think she sounds the most natural, the most friendly. So I almost always pick Paige. So I would go there. You're going to want to go to predefined functions. You're going to want to enable end call function. This allows your VAPI agent to end the call instead of having to wait for the person you're calling to end it. All right. And then very, very, very importantly, we're going to come down to this structured data piece right here. All right. And now this is what I really want to get into. Because this piece here is how we're going to send our transcript and send our analysis of whether this lead is qualified or not to make.com so that we can update our Google Sheet. Okay, so this structured data field is how we're actually going to analyze what happened on the call and send that data out to Make. So I'm going to zoom in here and show you what we have. So essentially we're saying, hey, you are an extraction prompt. And your task is to analyze the call transcript from a voice agent conversation and determine whether the lead is real and reachable. All right. The goal of the call is to verify the lead's identity, confirm the phone number, and ensure the person matches the expected contact. Okay. We're not actually selling anything. All right. And then we're going to tell it to return its answer or its analysis in JSON format with two different keys, verdict yes, no, or qualified, unqualified, and reason. Why did you decide to do that? Okay. And then we're going to give them 3 different verdict options: qualified, unqualified, or did not answer. All right. And so for every single person that we call, every single person that we launch a call for, we're going to get a verdict and a reason for, and we're going to update that back in our Google Sheet. All right. So that is the prompt I have. Now, also very importantly is we're going to have to add properties here. All right. And these properties are just telling VAPI basically what different types of data it needs to return. So we prompt it here, hey, we need a verdict and a reason, but we're also going to make sure that, hey, it knows we need a verdict and a reason. All right. Now, reason is just going to be a string. Verdict is going to be a string as well, but we're going to add values here. All right. And our values are just going to match these exactly. So qualified, unqualified, and did not answer. Okay. Perfect. And all that is doing is saying, hey, VAPI, when you return this structured data for us, we need you to give a verdict that exactly equals one of these 3. And so we're only going to give it 3 options. And those 3 options are these values right here: qualified, unqualified, and did not answer. All right. The reason we don't have to give it exact options for it. It can kind of come up with whatever reason it wants in string. They're both going to be required. All right. So that's very important. Now, we're going to get into this in a bit, but we're going to have to tell VAPI where to send that output to. Okay, we're going to have to give it a webhook URL to send all of that structured data output to. We're going to do that in the next step because we're going to have to go generate a webhook in make.com and plug that in here. Okay, but we'll do that in a bit. All right, so step 1, again, come up with your prompt. Again, in this demo, in this intermediate voice agent video, we're doing a lead qualifier. This could be an application qualifier. This could be an inbound caller. This could be an outbound caller. Come up with whatever prompt you want here. And then you need to be very careful in how you tell VAPI to output your result in the form of structured data. Okay, we're going to publish this and we should be good. The last thing I'll mention here is we have phone numbers already set up. So I'm going to use one of these dummy numbers that I have set up. So I just want to call that out too. But if you don't have a phone number set up, you need to set that up as well. All right, you can import those from Twilio, or you can get a free one from VAPI, and you can make a certain number of calls every day from it. That's step number 1. Okay, step number 2 is we're going to actually start to come into make.com and build our scenario here. Okay, so we're going to want to trigger our voice agents automatically, and we're going to do that from right here inside of make.com. Okay, so remember the flow here is, hey, I'm going to drop in, 10,000 leads here, and I want to qualify them. I want to call every single one of them and make sure that, the name we have on this list is the name that is actually associated with that phone number. Well, then we can either qualify them or not. All right, so what I want to do is, I think every 15 minutes or maybe every 10 minutes, we'll set that in a bit, I want to pull in from Google Sheets 10 new leads. Okay, so I'm going to search rows, and I'm going to go find my file here, and I think I have it as lead qualifier demo right here. Okay, sheet name is lead demo. Okay, table contains headers. Yep. And then I just want to pull in anything where qualified is empty or does not exist. Okay, so basically I'm going to drop in leads, and as long as we haven't called them and qualified them already, I want to call them. Okay, and so I want to only pull in 10 at a time because VAPI, if we're on the free VAPI plan, we can only call 10 concurrent people at a time. Okay, so every 15 minutes, we're going to call 10 new leads. All right, all at the same time, and that's how it's going to work. So I'm going to hit save here. I'm going to pull in some data. So I'm going to pull this, make sure this is connected, and you can see I'm pulling in all the data from my first field here. Okay, so that's all pulling in now. Perfect. All right, now what I'm going to do with that? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop in a VAPI module, and I'm going to make an API call. And this is how we're actually going to trigger our call automatically. Okay, so every 15 minutes, we're going to grab 10 of these leads, and then we're going to call all 10 of them automatically with this VAPI module. Okay, so we're going to update the method to post. Relative URL is going to be /call. Content type is application JSON. All right, and then we're going to come down to body, and I'm going to paste in my API call. Okay, and I'm going to have all of this kind of linked out in a template down below. You're just going to have to go sign up for my free school community, AI Outbound Academy, and this template will be right there for you. So you don't need to worry about all this. You can just upload this straight into your scenario. All right, but basically we're going to make an API call. All right, and we're going to fill in all of these fields. Okay, so first thing we need is our assistant ID. So we need to tell VAPI what assistant here we want to actually make this call from. And in this case, we want to use our lead qualifier demo page assistant, which is the one we're working on. So we're going to grab this ID and we're going to drop that in there. Then I'm going to go grab my phone number ID. So what phone number do we want to use to actually call from? So I'm going to use this one here. All right, and this one should be good. All right, and then we want to give details on the customer. Okay, so who are we calling? Well, we're going to drop in a phone number. All right, and that phone number is going to be here. All right, agent name is going to be Paige. And then all these fields here, first name, last name, job title, email, company name. If you remember those variables we talked about earlier, that's where we're getting all of that. So see like first name, see job title, see company name, here's email. All of that, we need to feed in to these fields dynamically so that every time somebody gets a call, we're dynamically feeding in the title, the company, and the name. So, you know, it sounds like we're only calling them, right? And the way you do that is right here through these variables, okay? And so first name is going to be Alex. Last name is going to be Laisho. Job title is going to be founder. Email is going to be email. And then company name is going to be version 7. Okay, so we're just populating those variables just like that. Okay, and so that's what it should look like. So we're going to hit save. We're going to save our module here, and that should be all good to go. Now remember, every 15 minutes, we're going to pull in 10 leads. All right, and all 10 leads are going to get their own call with all those variables filled in for them specifically. All right. Now I've got a fake phone number here because I don't want you guys to know what my phone number is because I don't know how big this video is going to be. Hopefully it gets huge. But I'm going to actually call my real phone number here on this demo here so you can see it work. All right. So let's see what happens here. Let's see if I get like a call on my phone here. So I'm going to have my phone right here. I'm going to see if you guys can't hear this, but I'm going to try and run this scenario now and just make sure that this is working. Okay, so let's test this out and just make sure I'm getting a call. So we just pulled in my row and then VAPI just made the API call. So here comes the call. Okay, I'm gonna try and put this on speaker so you guys can hear it. Here we go. Hello?
Hi, is this Alex?
This is.
Hi, is this Alex?
This is, yes.
Great, this is Paige calling on behalf of version 7. We run independent research panels for AI professionals. I see you're listed as the founder at version 7, is that right?
That is correct.
Awesome. We're currently inviting a small group of professionals to join a free AI research panel. You just occasionally share feedback on new
Perfect,
AI
thank you.
trends.
Okay, so that is working. All right, so that sounds really good. Now, I'm going to save this. And again, we can set this for maybe every 10 minutes. So every 10 minutes, we're going to call 10 people. All right. We're not going to activate it yet, but that should be good. Okay, so that is the first scenario. So that is working very well. Now, the next thing we need to do is we need to hook our assistant back to make.com. All right. We need to go pull a webhook here so we can send all this data to make.com automatically. Okay, so let's go do that right now. So I'm going to back out of this first scenario. All right, and we're going to go to our second scenario here. And what this scenario is going to do is essentially serve as our post-call analyzer. Okay, so this is going to be our post-call workflow. So that first one we built is going to start the calls. This one is going to handle all the data we get from the calls. All right, so I'm going to set up a webhook here, and it's going to be a custom webhook. All right, I'm going to add a new one, and it's going to be VAPI demo webhook. I'm going to hit save, and then I get this URL right here. So this is my webhook URL. I'm going to hit save. I copied that. I'm going to go grab that and drop that right here into my server URL field in my assistant. And the last thing I want to do is I want to come down here And I just want to make sure that our server messages, I delete all of these options except for our end of call report. Okay, so there's going to be like 20 different options here. Basically, VAPI can send out all sorts of different data to our webhook, but we only really need our end of call report. So just delete all of them, list this here, hit publish, and now we can test this, okay? And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come back to make, and we're going to test this out. I want to show you exactly what kind of data we get out of our webhook, and then we can use that to start updating our Google Sheet, okay? So I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to call myself one more time. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go watch. I'm going to actually talk through on speaker this conversation with this AI assistant. And then I'm going to go turn that webhook scenario on, and we're going to watch this data come in live. Okay, so I'm going to run this, and I'm going to get a call right now. Okay, and so I'm going to answer this, put it on speaker, and then you guys can watch as we pull in this data live to our webhook. So here we go. Hello?
Hi, is this Alex?
This is.
Great. This is Paige calling on behalf of version 7. We run independent research panels for AI professionals. I see you're listed as the founder at version 7. Is that right?
That is correct.
Awesome. We're currently inviting a small group of professionals to join a free AI research panel. You just occasionally share feedback on new AI trends or applications. Would it be okay if I emailed you a bit more info?
Yes, that'd be great.
Perfect. Is Alex at versions7.ai still the best email, or would you prefer a different one?
No, that's good.
Great. I'll mark your info as verified, and we'll follow up shortly by email. Thanks again, Alex.
Thanks. Have a good one.
Thank you, Alex. Take care.
All right, bye. All right, so that call just ended. So let's give it a couple of seconds here, and we should get our end of call report coming through our webhook with our verdict and our reason. So let's see here. So, okay, we're going to go to analysis. So we have a summary, structured data, and here is our reason. So the lead Alex answered the call, confirmed their identity, and was receptive to receiving more information. Verdict qualified. Perfect. Okay. So now that we're pulling in this data, and you can pull in more data than this, but this is, an intermediate example. Now that we're pulling that in, well, what we can do now is go to Google Sheets, and we're going to update a row. We're going to update a row with that analysis. So we're going to basically say, hey, is this qualified or not? All right. And we're going to do a couple other things as well that I'll tell you about here in just a second. All right. Now, the issue here is going to be this. We're not going to know what row to update here. All right. And what I mean by that is you and I know what row we need to update. We need to update row 2 to qualified, right? That's what we need to do. The problem is, since we had to break this into 2 different scenarios, we don't know what row to update here. All right. And so we're going to have to add, in order to tell it what row number. See, we don't get any of that from VAPI. We don't get any of that out here. Now, we could send it through if we wanted as a variable, but we're not going to do that. And so what I'm going to do here is right before this one, I'm going to drop in another Google Sheets module. This is going to be search rows. All right. And we only want to return one. Our spreadsheet ID is going to be our lead qualifier demo. All right. And what we're going to do is we're going to just look up in our sheet for the phone number that we called in VAPI. Okay. So we're basically just going to search for a phone number. All right. And let's see, that's my phone number. That's the VAPI phone number. I need to find my phone number. Where's customer? Gosh, there's so many fields here. Here it is, customer. Okay, so here's my phone number. All right, and we're gonna look this up in our real phone number field. Again, I'm gonna blur all this out, but I have another field out here. That's my real phone number. So anyways, I kind of want to hide my phone number from YouTube. Anyways, so now what we can do is, essentially we can search this. So I'm going to blur this out, but if I search for my phone number, we are now going to get my row, and I get my row number now. Okay. And so now that I get my row number, well, I can actually pull in and tell Google Sheets what row to update. Okay. So row number 2. All right. So we're going to update row number 2 with the qualified tag from our result or our verdict. Okay. So I'm going to go down to this analysis, structured data, verdict. So we're just going to update it as qualified. The reason is going to be here. Last call date. I always like to do this, and I'll tell you why in a second. Last call date is going to be right now. And then call count, we're going to essentially take the call count that we have here. So in this case, it's 0. And then we're going to add 1. So every time we call somebody, we're going to add a number here. All right. The second time we call them, we're going to, add a second number, and then third. Okay. All right. And the reason we do that is because we're going to set up a callback logic here if somebody doesn't answer. All right. So again, high level, I know we're kind of jumping around here. High level, what we've done is we have called this guy right here. Called him automatically. We've qualified him. We have sent all that data via a webhook into our second scenario here, where we then are updating that row with a qualified or unqualified tag, or a did not answer tag, a call count, the reason, and then the last call date. Okay. That's all we've done. Okay. So let's see if we can, we'll have to do another test call. So I'm not going to do that right now, but that should be working. All right. We'll do one big test at the end. All right, guys, I'm just going to drop in here real fast. I know these voice agents are really, really fun. And a lot of you guys need help building these for your own companies or for your clients. So if you need any help, if you have a voice agent that you just can't figure out how to build, or it's more complex, you don't really know how to get these webhooks and these systems talking to each other, just get down into the description below and hit us up over at version7.ai, and we will help you build your voice agent for you or your client and get these systems built for you. So excited to partner, excited to meet you, and we'll be in touch soon. All right, thanks guys. Let's get back to the video. All right, now the next thing we want to do is we want to set up some logic where, let's say I call this guy, he doesn't answer. I call him once, and it's, did not answer. Okay, and I called him, let's say now. I called him right now. Okay. All right. So that's all going to update automatically. Now I have this cool formula out here that is essentially just taking, it's calculating our days since our last call. All right. And so the logic we're going to set up here is this. Every day, every hour, we are going to basically scrape this list for anyone who did not answer. Okay. And we're going to try and call them back because we don't want to waste those leads. They could still be good leads. They were just busy and didn't answer. So every day, at the top of every hour, we're going to scrape this list for anybody who has been labeled as a did not answer. And then what we're going to say is this. If their call count is less than or equal to days since last call, we're going to call them again. Now that's confusing. What do I mean? Basically what I mean is this. If we called this guy yesterday on October 2nd, okay, and this equaled 1, so we've called him once and it's been a day since we last called him, we're going to call him again. If he doesn't answer, this goes to 2, and this goes back to 0. And then tomorrow it will be 1, and then in 2 days it will be 2. And at that point, we're going to call him again. So basically, if we've called you once, we're going to wait a day to call you again. If we've called you twice, we're going to wait 2 days to call you again. If we've called you 3 times already and you haven't answered, we're going to wait 3 days to call you again. So we're going to stagger it like that. Okay? And so we're just going to set up some logic here. Okay, so I have this cool formula out here that you need, all right, to calculate days since last call. All right. And then we're going to set up a third scenario in make. All right. So I'm going to come back here and we're going to go here into our callback scenario. All right. All right. And it's going to be similar logic to our first one. Okay. So Google Sheets, we're going to search rows. And like I said, we're going to search for any row where qualified is did not answer. All right. So this is our lead qualifier demo. Okay. Sheet name's lead demo. And then basically, if qualified equals did not answer. And then I want 10 of them. Okay. Again, we can only call 10 people at a time. All right. So let me just make sure this is working. And it is. So this is listed as did not answer. And so we're pulling in all my information here. All right, good. And then what I'm going to do is I can go back to my first scenario and I can grab the same VAPI module because we're just going to call them again, the same thing. We're going to call them with the exact same module. So I'm literally going to go copy this, come back and just paste it into 3. Just like that. Okay, and again, you can see we are going to call from this assistant, so our lead qualifier assistant from this phone number. We're still feeding in phone number. We're still feeding in first name, last name, job title, email, and company, and we're gonna call them with the same agent. Okay, so I'm gonna hit save. Now the last thing I want to do is I want to set up this little like kind of timing logic. So I'm gonna set up a filter, and basically it's gonna be like, call now. Do I call them now? And so what I'm gonna say is, okay, if my days since last call is equal to or greater than or equal to my call count. Okay. So if I haven't called in 2 days and I've called them twice, then I'm going to call them. And so now we've got all 3 of our scenarios ready to rock. And remember, when we call them again for a 3rd or a 4th or a 5th time, and they answer, well, perfect. We're going to hit them right back here into our post-call video. So everything feeds right back into this scenario here. And remember, we're always updating or adding 1 to our call count. Okay, so even if you called them 5 times, then you wait 5 days and you call them a 6th time, and they don't answer again, well, we're just going to take what their call count is and add 1. Okay, so it'll go up to 6. All right. We can also, if we wanted to, put in the transcript here. There's a transcript URL somewhere. Here it is. Here's the transcript. So I'll just do that too for consistency. All right, so I'm going to come back to my first scenario here, and I'm going to hit run, and let's test this thing out. Again, I'm going to put you on speaker, and here comes the call. And so we're just going to watch our Google Sheet populate automatically here. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to answer this, put it on speaker. Hope you guys can hear. Hello?
Hi, is this Alex?
This is.
Hi, Alex. This is Paige calling on behalf of version 7. We run independent research panels for AI professionals. I see you're listed as the founder at version 7. Is that right?
Yes.
Great. We're currently inviting a small group of professionals to join a free AI research panel. You just occasionally share feedback on new AI trends or applications. Would it be okay if I emailed you a bit more info?
That'd be great. Thank you.
Perfect. Is alex@versionseven.ai still the best email, or would you prefer a different one?
That's perfect. Thank you.
Great. I'll mark your info as verified, and we'll follow up shortly by email. Thanks again, Alex. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.
Have a good one. Goodbye. Okay. So now we should be qualified here. Call count should go to 1. We should have a reason we're qualified, and the last call date should populate. So, okay, there it all came in. We also have our transcript out here, which is kind of ruining our formatting, but I'll delete this for now. Okay. So we're qualified and we're good to go. All right. So that is working well. Now let's pretend I didn't answer. And I got called yesterday. Okay. So it's been a day since I last got called. And now I just want to make sure that my callback scenario is working as well. So let's go check that out. So here's my callback scenario. And remember, I'm going to run this every hour on the hour, basically. Okay. So I'm going to hit run here, and let's see what happens. So I'm going to run it. It found me. It passed the filter because my call date or days since last call is equal or greater than my call count. And here comes the call. So let's just do this one last time and see what happens. Hello?
Hi, is this Alex?
This is.
Great. This is Paige calling on behalf of version 7. We run independent research panels for AI professionals. I see you're listed as the founder at version 7. Is that right?
No, that's not right. I've moved on.
Apologies. I may have the wrong contact. I'll update our records. Thanks for your time.
All right. Have a good one. Thank you. Bye.
Goodbye.
Okay. So let's see if we got disqualified there. So we'll wait for this to come in. All right, perfect. So we're unqualified. Our call count went up to 2. This person identified as Alex, but said they were no longer the founder. So the information was incorrect. And then we get the transcript there as well if we want it. Okay. And so that is it, guys. That is our lead qualification voice assistant that can call thousands and thousands of leads every single week for you completely automatically. Okay. This is just going to boost the quality of your leads and enrich those leads for you without you having to do a thing. Right. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. If you guys liked it, get down there and smash that like button for me. I'd really appreciate it. If you want to see more videos like this in the future, consider subscribing. That'd be awesome. If you have any questions for me, get down in the comments and let me know. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.